to sleep horror, where the line between dreams and nightmares fades. Tonight we delve into tales that creep in when you close your eyes, stories that will haunt your sleep long after the screen goes dark. Grab your blankets, turn down the lights, and prepare to confront the shadows lurking just beyond your eyelids. Let's begin. Story 1. He's been around for as long as I can remember. Can't even say when we started calling each other best friends. It's like he was always there, hanging out in the corners of my hope and fear. We grew up side by side, me cracking dumb jokes, him laughing like he actually meant it. Both of us holding on to secrets I wouldn't trust anyone else with. First real memory, grade school. We're hiding in the library, tucked between dusty old shelves. I've got this beat-up monster book full of creepy sketches, hollow eyes, mouth stretched too wide. He points to one and goes, "Looks like my mom." I lose it. He laughs too. No one else could make him laugh. No one else could even see him. Time passed. He stuck around. During thunderstorms, I'd hide under my blanket and feel the mattress dip next to me. After rough days, coming home to my parents, shouting, he'd already be in my room, chilling at my desk, messing with old junk I thought we lost. Didn't matter how bad things got. He was there. At first, that felt good, comforting. Then it started feeling like something heavier. "You don't need anyone else," he'd say in that voice of his, calm, steady, not quite like mine, not quite like anybody's. High school was a joke. Tried making new friends. Total disaster. I'd watch them laughing, easy and real, while I sat there feeling like background noise, a glitch in the picture. "They'll never get you," he'd whisper. He'd leave little stuff for me. A note I didn't remember writing, a torn scrap with our names scrawled together. "It's just us, always has been." Eventually, I stopped trying. People were easier to deal with from a distance. Their voices buzzed like static. The cafeteria lights burned. Chairs screeched across floors like nails on a chalkboard. He stopped being a comfort, became a weight. He'd sit next to me at dinner, miming bites of invisible food. He'd watch me through the mirror, even when I wouldn't look. Remember when we promised never leave each other? I didn't, but he remembered for both of us. Without me, you're nothing but a hollow shell. College was the big escape. New city, new people, new everything. Left him behind. Or so I thought. At first it felt like breathing fresh air. Real friends. People who laughed with me, not at me. People who grabbed my hand when the old loneliness tried dragging me back. I started forgetting him. The voice, the face, the heaviness. But you can't just erase parts of yourself without something cracking. It started small, a whisper in a dream, a memory sneaking up when I wasn't ready. They'll ditch you. They only like the mask you wear. They're not me. I fought it, ignored it. But that absence was a hole that nothing filled. Then one night, a crash in the kitchen. Shattered plate, roommates dead asleep, the world dead asleep. Except him, standing in the doorway, shadow thin. Told you, you'd never be alone. That fear froze me solid. Still hasn't thawed, really. Now he pops in and out. Not constant, not gone. A flicker on the stairs. A reflection that lags just a second too long. On birthdays, gifts I don't remember buying. A torn-up photo. A cassette with weird laughter. Bad days, his voice. Soft, steady, familiar. I'm the only one who stayed. Therapists chalk it up to coping mechanisms. Voices, echoes, symptoms. They don't get it. Nobody does. Except him. You made me because you needed me. I stuck around because I wanted to. And some nights, I believe him. Quiet nights like tonight. The house is dead still. Air thick like it's holding its breath. And there he is, kicked back in the armchair, staring me down. I ask, "Why are you here now?" He smiles, tired, worn, almost gentle. To remind you, no matter how far you run, I'm what's left. I sigh. His presence wraps around my shoulders like chains. I don't want you here anymore. He tilts his head, curious, like a dog trying to figure out a trick. You can't make me leave. I'm sure as hell gonna try. The smile fades. First time I've ever seen fear flicker on his face. Remember our promise. I don't answer. Who were you before me? Swallow. Who will you be without me? I stand up. Chair creaks as he rises too. A perfect reflection. You don't exist without me. I walk to the mirror. He follows, step for step. In the glass, two figures. Me and him. But something's off. His reflection smiles. Mine doesn't. Guess who's been fooling who? His voice is like cracking ice. He moves first, head tilts, eyes lock onto mine. That smile splitting wider. I'm not just in your head. He steps toward the mirror. I don't flinch. I am you. The glass explodes. No pain, just nothing. When I come to, I'm back in the chair. Alone. House is dead silent. But in the busted mirror, still two reflections. And one of them is smiling. I could lie. Say he vanished after that night. Say I'm free. But nah. He just changed. Now he doesn't talk. Now he lives inside me. I feel him on empty subway rides, packed with blank faces. I feel him when I'm slicing veggies and the knife lingers a little too long. He whispers in dreams that aren't mine. He moves my hands when I'm not paying attention, sketching things I swear I never learned how. Friends say I've changed. Feels like there's someone else in there. Mariana from work once said. She laughed, but her eyes didn't. Sometimes I look around and wonder how many people have best friends like mine. Maybe the world's crawling with them. Fragments, reflections, echoes of who we were or who we're scared to become. The worst part isn't having him around. It's knowing that without him, maybe I'm nothing. Best friends, right? We promised never leave each other, even if it means disappearing a little more every day. Story 2, Camp Clown Horror. They always say camping brings you closer, but they never tell you what it might bring closer to you. Me and Claire had been best friends since middle school. The kind of friends who finished each other's sentences, who shared playlists, sweaters, secrets, and occasionally crushes. We met in the most unremarkable way. Detention. Claire had gotten caught sneaking snacks into class. I was there for skipping gym. We were 12, awkward, angry, and felt like we were the only real people in a school full of ghosts. It started with a shared eye roll, grew into whispered jokes, then long talks about everything and nothing. Claire had this wild streak, the kind that made you believe anything was possible, even if it was stupid and dangerous. She could talk me into anything. By high school, we were inseparable. Friday nights meant cheap horror movies and bad pizza. Summer days meant sneaking into abandoned houses, daring each other to go deeper, stay longer. We'd been planning the trip forever. A weekend, just us. No cell reception, no parents, no one to tell us how to live or who to be. Just a lake, some trees, and our tent under a heavy sky. The first night was perfect. We pitched the tent after 3 failed attempts, roasted marshmallows that caught fire more than they toasted, and spent hours lying on our backs, pointing out constellations we pretended to know the names of. Claire was fearless. She told ghost stories in a whisper that made the dark feel thicker. I laughed, loud, to scare away the chill. "You're not scared, are you?" she teased, nudging me. I shook my head, lying. The fire cracked and popped, low and tired. "Last one," she said, settling back on her elbows. "Want to hear something really creepy?" I rolled my eyes but nodded. "They say," she began, "there's a clown that lives in these woods." I groaned. "No, seriously," she insisted, her voice dropping. "Not just any clown. One that's been here for years, decades." I hugged my knees tighter. "Some say he's not even a man anymore. Just a thing that wears a face." The wind picked up, sighing through the trees. "He waits," she said, barely more than a whisper. "For campers." Claire grinned at me, teeth sharp in the firelight. I laughed it off, but the story stuck, clinging to the inside of my skull like wet leaves. We zipped ourselves into the tent, giggling and whispering until exhaustion hit. I drifted first, listening to the hush of the forest, the occasional crack of a branch, the slow drag of the lake against the shore. At some point, I woke up. I didn't know why. The tent was pitch black, save for the weak glow of the dying fire outside. Claire's breathing was even and soft next to me. Then I heard it. A noise. Soft. Wet. Like something dragging. I held my breath, heart thudding against my ribs. The sound moved around the tent, slow and deliberate. Then, a laugh. Low. Guttural. I shook Claire awake. She blinked at me, bleary. "Listen," I hissed. We both froze, ears straining. Nothing. The fire had burned down to embers, casting long skeletal shadows. "You probably heard an animal," she muttered, but her voice wasn't convincing. I nodded, but my skin crawled. Sleep didn't come easy after that. Every creak, every rustle outside felt loaded. Morning came heavy and gray. Clouds sagged overhead, promising rain. We laughed about it over burnt coffee and soggy granola. "Bet it was a raccoon," Claire said, nudging me. "Yeah," I said. "Raccoon." But I couldn't shake the feeling. We hiked the trails, took pictures by the lake, pretended we weren't checking over our shoulders. By nightfall, the sky cracked open, rain pouring in sheets. We retreated to the tent, playing cards by flashlight, telling dumb jokes, anything to keep the mood up. Thunder rolled. At some point, Claire fell asleep, cards slipping from her hands. I lay there, staring at the tent ceiling, listening to the drum of rain. And then, a noise. Not rain. Closer. Wet. Dragging. I sat up, heart hammering. Lightning flashed, illuminating the tent walls. For a split second, I saw it. A silhouette, tall, broad, and the shape of hair, too round, too puffed, like a clown's wig. I clapped a hand over my mouth. Claire stirred. I shook her, frantic. Another flash. Gone. "What?" she whispered, groggy. "Someone's outside," I breathed. We sat, frozen, straining to hear over the rain. Minutes passed. Nothing. Claire unzipped the tent a sliver, peeking out. Darkness. Just rain and trees. "Nothing there," she said, zipping it back up. But I couldn't sleep. Hours later, the rain slowed to a drizzle. I sat up, still tense, when Claire suddenly said, "Gotta pee." "What? Now?" "I'll be right back." Before I could argue, she slipped into her boots and ducked out. I sat there, fists clenched in my sleeping bag. Minutes passed. 5, 10. I whispered her name. No answer. I unzipped the tent and stepped out. The world was quiet. Too quiet. I called out again. Nothing. Panic gnawed at me. I grabbed the flashlight and ventured toward the trees. Claire. The beam shook in my hand. I found footprints, half washed by the rain. Followed them. They ended abruptly. Then, a sound. A wet, dragging sound. Closer. I swung the light around. And there he was. A clown. Not a colorful one. Not circus bright. This one was wrong. His suit was muddy and torn. The ruffles around his neck were limp and stained. His face paint was smeared, mouth stretched in a grotesque grin. In one hand, he dragged something. A boot. Claire's boot. My stomach dropped. I backed away, shaking. He tilted his head, grin widening, and he dropped the boot. Something else landed with a sickening thud. Claire. Her body twisted unnaturally, eyes wide and unseeing. I couldn't move. The clown took a step toward me. Another. I turned and ran. Branches clawed at me. Mud sucked at my shoes. My lungs burned. Behind me, laughter. Deep. Wrong. I didn't look back. I ran until the trees blurred, until my legs gave out, until the laughter faded. Dawn crept over the horizon, pale and cold. I stumbled onto a road, flagged down a car. The police found our campsite, found Claire. They didn't find him. They said it was a bear attack, said I was lucky. I didn't argue. But sometimes, late at night, I hear it. That dragging sound, that laughter, getting closer, like he's still looking for me, like best friends are supposed to stay together, forever. I try to live normally now. Got a new town, new job, new friends who don't know what's broken inside me. But sometimes, when the streets are empty, when the night is too quiet, I swear I hear it. Not just the laughter, footsteps, dragging, closer. Sometimes, in the edge of my vision, I see the colors, faded, muddy, a flash of ruffled fabric, a smear of white face paint. I've moved 3 times, changed my name. Doesn't matter. He always finds me. The thing is, I'm starting to wonder if I ever really left the woods. Maybe I never made it to the road. Maybe I'm still there, still running, still hearing him laugh. Maybe best friends really do stay together, even in nightmares, even forever. Story 3, Ghosts Between the Trees. We grew up thinking nothing could touch us. Me, Ethan, and Jake. A tight trio. We were the kids who rode bikes until the streetlights blinked on, who dared each other to jump from the highest rocks into the lake, who swore we'd never betray each other. Blood brothers, at least that's what we used to say. Back then, the world felt smaller, safer. Our hometown was a cluster of tired houses and cracked sidewalks, the kind of place you leave and never look back. But we stayed. We grew up, got jobs, pretended we were happy. The 3 of us were inseparable. Summers meant long days, fishing at the quarry. Nights spent drinking cheap beer by the train tracks, telling each other half-truths about the future. Jake was the loud one, always cracking jokes to fill the silences. Ethan was quieter, sharper, the planner, the schemer. And me, I guess I was the glue, the one who kept us from tearing each other apart. I found her at 24, Emily. She was different, soft-spoken, but fierce when she needed to be. She had this laugh that made the air feel lighter, like you could breathe easier just hearing it. She worked at the bookstore downtown, the one with the crooked shelves and the cat that slept in the window. I brought her into the group. At first, everything was easy. The four of us, me, Emily, Ethan, Jake, camping trips, late night beers by the lake, bonfires that burned out just before dawn. But cracks started to show. Ethan would watch her when he thought I wasn't looking. Jake would joke too much, too loud. And Emily, she started smiling less. I thought it was the job, the town, the monotony. I was wrong. The night she disappeared, we were all together. A bonfire at the clearing by the woods, cheap whiskey, music from a busted speaker. She said she was going to the bathroom. She never came back. At first, panic, calling her phone, searching the woods, screaming her name into the dark. Police got involved. Weeks turned into months. No answers. No Emily. Ethan cried at the funeral. Jake punched a wall. Me, I just folded in on myself. Everyone said the same things. She probably ran away. Maybe she just needed a break. I didn't believe it, not for a second. I started pulling away. From them, from the town, from everything. It should have ended there, but it didn't. Because a year later I found her necklace, buried in the woods behind Jake's house. It wasn't the kind of thing you just lost, especially not with the clasp snapped and the chain stained dark. I didn't say anything. Not then. I waited, planned, waited longer. Tonight's the night, the three of us. One last trip, one last campfire at the lake, just like old times. Ethan doesn't suspect a thing. He's laughing, tossing wood onto the fire. Jake's quieter, sipping from his flask, eyes darting to the tree line like he can't quite shake the feeling of being watched. He's right to feel that way. I watch them, smile, pretend. We talk about nothing, about the past, about the future we'll never have. Midnight settles in, heavy and thick. I stand up. Gotta take a leak, I say. They nod, not really paying attention. I walk into the trees, wait, count. 1, 2, 3. Then the scream. I run back, heart-pounding fake fear. Ethan is on the ground, gasping, clutching his throat. Jake stands over him, knife in hand, eyes wide. Blood blooms dark across Ethan's shirt. What the hell? I shout, shoving Jake back. It wasn't me, he sputters. I swear, I didn't. He just... Ethan gurgles, chokes. Go still. I stare at Jake. Jake stares back. Pale. Shaking. You killed her too, I say. His face crumbles. No, I didn't. I pull out the necklace, toss it at his feet. He stares at it like it might bite him. You buried it, I say. He shakes his head. I didn't mean to. I didn't. He drops the knife, falls to his knees. It was an accident, he says, voice breaking. I loved her. The words tasted like poison. I think back to that night, Emily laughing by the fire, Jake watching her, the way she disappeared, Jake's red-rimmed eyes at the funeral, the hollow apologies, the whispers I tried to ignore. I pick up the knife. It feels right in my hand. Jake looks up at me, tears cutting tracks through the dirt on his face. Please, he whispers. I think about Emily, her laugh, her eyes, the way she trusted me. I think about the night she disappeared, about the emptiness that took her place. I tighten my grip. The fire crackles behind us, spitting sparks into the black. Jake closes his eyes. I move. The knife sinks deep. A sound escapes him, half gasp, half sob. He collapses. I stand over him, breathing hard. The woods are silent. I sit back by the fire, wait for the flames to die. wait for the sun to come. When it does, it finds me alone. Ethan and Jake, gone, like they were never here. I leave the campsite as it is, take only the necklace, walk back to town. No one asks where they went. No one really cares. Blood brothers. We used to say it meant forever. I guess it does. In a way, sometimes I wonder if she's watching. If Emily knows what I did. I dream about her sometimes. Standing by the lake, hair blowing in the wind, necklace glinting in the moonlight. She never speaks, just watches. I'd like to think it's approval, but some nights it feels like judgment. Life moves on. People forget. New faces fill the old spaces. But not me. I still see them. In reflections. In the shadows between the trees. Ethan's easy smile. Jake's nervous laugh. Ghosts. I carry the necklace with me. Always. A reminder. A weight. Blood brothers. Me, Ethan, Jake, and Emily. Forever. Story 4. The last friend standing we thought of the trip would fix everything. Me, Marcus, Jenna, and Eli. 4 friends, pretending we weren't drifting apart. College had ended. Real life had started. Jobs, apartments, relationships that came and went. We weren't kids anymore, but we wanted to be. A week in a cabin, deep in the mountains, buried in snow and silence. No phones, no Wi-Fi, just old board games, cheap whiskey, and whatever was left of us. At first, it was perfect. The snow was thick and soft, blanketing the world in silence. We built fires that crackled and spat sparks, played cards until our fingers cramped, told stories that felt almost true. We hiked during the day, trudging through knee-deep snow, laughing and throwing powder at each other. We made stupid bets. Who could last the longest barefoot in the snow? Who could find the weirdest-looking icicle? It was easy to pretend. But then the storm hit. Hard. Walls of wind and snow. The kind that erases the world. The power went out first. Lights flickered. Died. Then the cell signals vanished. No service. No way out. We joked about it at first. Ghost stories by flashlight. Jokes about cannibals and cabin fever. But as the hours stretched into a day, then 2, the jokes stopped. The cold seeped into everything. The firewood stack shrank. The food dwindled. Our breaths hung in the air, pale ghosts. And the silence grew heavy. It wasn't just at the cold. It was the way Marcus glared at Eli when he thought no one was looking. The way Jenna clutched her jacket tighter around herself, even by the fire. Tensions simmered. It was Marcus who snapped first. He started pacing, muttering under his breath, saying we needed to leave, that staying meant dying. "It's not safe here," he said, staring out the window at the whiteout beyond. "We're sitting ducks." Eli tried to reason with him, tried. Marcus shoved him, hard. Eli hit the ground, stunned. Jenna and I pulled Marcus back, calmed him down. For a while, but the damage was done. We split shifts watching the fire, rationing what little food was left. Sleep was shallow and restless. I caught Marcus staring at us at night, eyes glinting in the firelight. On the 3rd night, I woke to the sound of footsteps, soft, careful. I cracked an eye open. Marcus standing by the fire, knife in hand. Jenna stirred, saw him. "Marcus." He didn't answer, just stared at the flames. Then, without warning, he turned, quick and brutal, and drove the knife into Eli's chest. Eli gasped, a wet, choking sound. Jenna screamed. I froze. Eli's body slumped, blood pooling dark and fast. Marcus turned to us. "It's the only way," he said. "One less mouth, I grabbed a log from the fire, swung. It connected with a sickening crunch. Marcus grumbled. We tied him up with what we had. Extension cords, belts, anything. Jenna sobbed quietly, rocking back and forth. We buried Eli in the snow outside, the best grave we could manage. The next day was a blur. Marcus tied to a chair, glaring. Jenna silent and hollow. Me trying to keep the fire alive, the walls standing, the world from collapsing. By nightfall, the storm hadn't let up. I heard Jenna whispering to herself. At first, I thought it was grief. But then I heard the words, "He'll kill us. We have to kill him first." I tried to talk her down. Tried. But when I woke up, Jenna was gone. And so was Marcus. I found them outside. Jenna standing over Marcus, knife in hand. Marcus, throat cut, staring at the sky. Jenna's hands were shaking, her face pale, blood speckled. She looked at me, smiled. "It's safer now," she said. We burned Marcus's body, couldn't bury him. The ground was frozen solid. The smell hung in the air for days. Jenna was different after that, quieter. She stopped eating, stopped sleeping, just sat by the fire, staring, talking to Eli and Marcus like they were still there, whispering, laughing. I tried to keep it together, focused on survival, on rationing what was left. But I couldn't ignore it, couldn't pretend not to see the way she looked at me. The knife she kept close, the way she muttered under her breath, counting. 1, 2. I started sleeping with a piece of firewood under my pillow, just in case. It happened on the 6th night. I woke to the sound of footsteps. Again, Jenna standing over me, knife in hand, mouth moving, but no sound coming out. I didn't wait. I swung the log. She grumbled, didn't move, didn't breathe. I sat there for hours, staring at her body. Snow howled outside. Silence settled inside. When morning came, I dragged her outside, buried her next to Eli, or as close as I could. Days blurred after that. The storm finally broke. A rescue team found me 2 days later. They asked what happened. I told them the truth, most of it. They found the bodies, declared it a tragedy, a freak accident, a storm, starvation, madness. But they didn't find the knife. I kept it, a reminder of who I had to become, of what friendship costs when the world ends. 4 friends went into the mountains. Only one came back, and sometimes, when the night's too quiet, I hear them, laughing, whispering, counting. 1, 2, 3. It's been months since the mountains. Sometimes I wonder if I really left. The snow still creeps into my dreams. I see Jenna smile, hear Eli's laugh, feel Marcus's glare. At night I sleep with the knife under my pillow. Old habits die hard, or maybe they don't die at all. Friends are supposed to stick together. That's what we always said. We just never decided what happens when the world falls apart. 4 friends, 1 cabin, 1 survivor, and the whisper that never leaves me. 1, 2, 3. Story. 5. No way back. We weren't supposed to take that road. 5 friends, 1 car, 1 weekend. Me, Sam, Victor, Amber, and Danny. We'd been planning the trip for months. A break from the city, from work, from everything. The mountains sounded perfect. We packed light, tents, sleeping bags, snacks, laughed the whole way up, music blasting through the windows. It felt like old times. But then the GPS glitched, told us to take a shortcut. Victor, driving, didn't hesitate. The road narrowed, turned to gravel, then dirt. The trees grew thicker, swallowing the daylight. Then the drop, a sharp turn, a patch of ice, tires skidding. car rolled, not far, but far enough. We landed hard, upside down in a ditch, windows shattered, metal groaning. We crawled out, shaken, bleeding, cold. No signal, no help, just the woods. And then we saw it. A house, old, rotting, half swallowed by the trees. No lights, no smoke, just a dark outline against the graying sky. Shelter, Danny said, voice shaking. We didn't argue. The door creaked open on its own. Inside, it smelled of damp and rot. But it was better than the cold. Barely. We found a room with broken furniture, a cracked fireplace, no electricity, no running water. We huddled close, wrapped in what blankets we could find. Victor tried to fix the radio. Sam kept checking his phone. Amber and Danny whispered to each other, glancing at the shadows. I sat by the window, watching the dark swallow the forest. That's when I saw him. A figure, standing just at the edge of the trees. Still, watching. I blinked. He was gone. I think someone's out there, I said. Victor laughed. Nervous. Probably a hunter. Or a squatter, Amber added. We tried to believe it. Tried. Night fell hard. The fire died. The cold crept in. Somewhere in the house, a floorboard creaked. Sam tensed. Danny grabbed my hand. Another creak. Closer. We huddled together, silent. Then, the front door slammed. Footsteps. Heavy, deliberate. Coming closer. A shadow moved in the hallway. Tall, broad, dragging something behind him. We scrambled. Sam tried the window. Stuck. Victor grabbed a chair. The door burst open. He stood there, old, wrinkled, eyes like dead glass, and the axe he carried gleamed even in the dark. Victor charged him. The axe swung, fast. Victor dropped, blood pooling. Amber screamed. We ran, down the hall, into the kitchen. Another door, locked. Sam kicked it open. We spilled into the night. Snow fell, thick and heavy. The woods swallowed us. Branches clawed at our faces. Somewhere behind us the old man followed, slow, patient. We ran blind, tripping over roots, slipping on ice. Danny stumbled. I turned to help her. Too late. The axe swung again. She fell. Didn't move. Amber screamed again, pulled me away. We ran. Sam vanished ahead of us, swallowed by the trees. Amber and I stumbled into a clearing, a shed, old, rotten. We ducked inside, held our breath, footsteps, closer. Door creaked. We braced ourselves. But he passed, kept walking. Amber sobbed quietly. We waited. Minutes. Hours. When the first light bled into the sky, we crept out. The house was still there. Silent. Waiting. No sign of the others. Sam. Victor. Danny. Gone. We didn't speak. Just ran. Followed the road until our legs gave out. A car found us. We told the police everything. They searched. Found the house. Empty. No blood. No bodies. No sign anyone had been there for years. They said we imagined it. The crash. The cold. The fear. Hallucinations. We know better. Amber doesn't talk about it. Moved away. Changed her name. I stayed. I had to know. Sometimes I drive past that stretch of road. The house is still there, waiting, and sometimes just at the edge of the trees. I see him, still watching, still waiting. Weeks passed. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. I kept dreaming of the house, of Victor's body, of Danny's last breath, of Sam's scream lost to the trees. I had to go back, alone. I packed a flashlight, a knife, and enough anger to burn through the fear. Drove until the trees swallowed the sky. Found the dirt road. Found the house. Same as before. Rotting. Silent. I stepped inside. The floor groaned under my weight. Dust hung in the air like breath. I walked through the house, room by room. No bloodstains, no signs of struggle, like we'd never been there. In the kitchen, I found something. A photograph. Old, faded. 5 kids, smiling. One of them looked like the old man. The back of the photo was scratched, words etched deep. Family stays together. I pocketed it, turned to leave. The front door slammed shut. Footsteps behind me. Slow, deliberate. I turned. He stood there. Closer now. Older. Wetter. The axe still gleaming. But it wasn't the same. His face was wrong. Younger. Familiar. Sam. Or what was left of him. His eyes were empty. His smile wrong. Family stays together, he whispered. Then others stepped from the shadows. Victor. Danny. Amber. All wrong. All smiling. I backed away. Hit the wall. Nowhere to run. Their mouths moved in unison. Family stays together. I screamed. Darkness swallowed me. I woke up outside. Alone. The house was gone. No sign of it. Just trees. Silence. But in my hand, the photograph. Fresh. New. 5 friends. Smiling. One by one, their faces faded, until only mine was left. Sometimes, late at night, I hear them, whispering, calling me back. Family stays together. Forever.